massive engineering company, like enormous. They employ about 33,000 people in the UK alone. They are massive, and they do loads of different really complex engineering. So a lot of it's within defence. So we do like fighter jets, we do ships, submarines, all those sort of really big complex projects. But we also do lots of other little things. So we do things like satellite communication, we do green buses, so like eco buses and all sorts of things like that. So yeah, it's a massive company with lots of massive, very complex projects.
Wonderful. And tell us a little bit more about your role at the company.
Yeah, so I've actually just changed jobs. So my job's a bit weird at the moment, but what I tend to do is I work on the future projects of the company. So I'm a specialist in the air sector. So I work on fast jets, I work on space planes, I work on all sorts of cool different types of things that fly, essentially. And I look at future things. So things that are going to happen way in the future. I'm talking 2030, 2040. So nothing that flies yet, unfortunately. But that's what I do. And essentially what I do within that sort of area is I work out whether they're going to fly or not. And then if they do fly, how far do they fly, how fast, what can we make them do to fly better, or things like how do I keep them in the sky? Because once they're in the sky, how do you stop them from falling out of the sky? So that sort of thing is what I look at. Yes, yeah, so this is my new job. This is what I've just started on. And so Team Tempest is a UK programme. It's something that is a combination of lots of different companies. So we've got BAE Systems, Rolls-Royce, Leonardo, and MBDA, that's the other one. So there's four major companies, and they're looking at the next fighter jet, what we're gonna fly in the future. So the current main fighter jet for the RAF is going to be out of service soon, so it's going to stop flying in 2030s. So we're looking at what aircraft is going to be flying next. So we're developing that new aircraft essentially, and that's what Team Tempest is doing. I don't really have routine activities because these things are so big and so complicated that there's so many different parts to be involved in. There's so many different things that need to be done to make it fly, and all these things that one day I'll be coming in and I'll be coding some of our software, and then the next day I'll be coming in and I'll be literally climbing in a wind tunnel. So it depends on what stage we're at in the project, what needs to be done on it, and what I think needs to be done. So it's not always about sort of like our sort of senior, really high up people telling me what to do. I come in and I go, that looks interesting. I'm going to go stick it in a wind tunnel and find out, or I'm going to go blow it up and find out. Like that is genuinely what I will go and do. So yeah, it's very broad. It's very, very different every day. So obviously more fighter jets, because that's what we're working on now on Team Tempest. But the more exciting stuff and the bit that I really like is the hypersonic and space plane world. So we'll start with space planes. So space planes are kind of like a normal aircraft, like your A380s that you get on if you're going on holiday. And they take off from a runway and they fly all the way into space and go straight into orbit. So they don't drop any parts down. So if you've seen a rocket and how they have like those boosters and they fall back down to Earth, that doesn't happen on a space plane. It just takes off on a runway like a normal plane and goes all the way in, like literally into the stars, which is pretty mad. And then it flies back down once it's finished its job up there and lands on a runway. So it will mean that anyone can go into space, that you can just get on a plane, go on holiday to the moon, literally, or go on holiday to a space hotel and all that sort of thing. So it's the sort of next big thing to happen in space is a space plane. So they're really exciting. They're really cool projects to be part of. The other one, something called hypersonics, and what that means is essentially you're going really, 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 really fast. So hypersonic means going faster than Mach 5, so that's 5 times the speed of sound. So the fastest you will travel in a car, say on a motorway, so you're traveling about 70 miles per hour. So that's really, really fast in the car anyway. But flying hypersonically is more like going 7,000 times. So you're talking 100 times faster than the fastest you would go in a car. So it is very, very, very fast, which means it comes with a whole host of problems, lots of problems to fix. But it's really exciting. It means that we could get ourselves to, say, Australia in about 4 hours, rather than the 24 hours or 28 hours in some cases it takes now. Yeah, definitely. So the main one that people seem to know about the hypersonic ones, the really fast planes, is that when you are going that fast, your aircraft actually gets really, really hot. So it's about between 1,000 and 3,000 degrees Celsius on that aircraft. So it's very, very, very hot plane. So we have to work out a way to stop the plane from melting while it's flying. It sounds a bit sci-fi, but it's true. They will literally melt when you're going that fast for that long. So that's one of our major problems to overcome.
And what about the effects on the human body? If you were a passenger flying at hypersonic speeds, what does it do to the body?
It's not actually that bad. So the cockpit of a hypersonic plane, or the sort of payload bay as we call it, so where you'd stick sort of passengers, that's been specifically designed. So that's something called G. So that's like the force. So if you're going really fast and you feel yourself whip back, that's like a force called G in our world. And that we've worked out a way to minimise that, so that it's kind of the same feelings if you were just going in a fast plane rather than if you were going in a hypersonic plane. A little bit away. So it's not going to be coming in the next 5 years, I don't think. So there's some amazing companies out in the world that are doing some fantastic things. So SpaceX is a really famous one. You've got Virgin Galactic, Blue Origin, all these amazing companies that are looking at space, like commercializing even space, so that you can buy a ticket to go to space. But they've got a little bit of development to go yet. So I'd say maybe 10 years away, which isn't too far, but it's still a little bit way off. And then from there, that will be for sort of the select few, as it works. It will still be quite an expensive way to get to space. And then once the space planes come around and things start looking more like Heathrow Airport, but space, that's probably a little bit later, probably more around the late 2030s, 2040s. Yeah, so I was about 16, so I was older than most people are when they want to be an astronaut. So 16, and I went to somewhere called Kennedy Space Center, which is out in the US, out in Florida. And I saw a video about life on Mars, essentially, and sort of a sci-fi style film of a woman landing on Mars, and she dropped a photo of something. And I can't remember the tagline of it actually, but it was something like, "This could be you," or "It could be anybody." And I remember sitting there at 16 and had my family with me, and I was like, yeah, could be me. That is what I want to do. And just decided there and then that's exactly what I wanted to do. So I did, because I didn't really know. I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. I knew I was good at maths, I knew I enjoyed maths, and I knew I enjoyed problem solving, but I didn't really know what to do with it or what I could do with it. And then being an astronaut or the astronaut like dreams kind of clicked, and I was like, that's it, that's what I want to do. And I have followed that dream ever since. Yeah, ideally I'll be up in space by then, we'll see. That is the goal, that is my lifelong dream. I'm aware it's quite a small chance, that not everybody is going to get that chance to do that, and there are literally thousands of people that are just as qualified and that can do that job as well. So that is my dream, and I'm still going to keep going for it. But in terms of if that doesn't happen, it's not it's not what I'm going to base my life on. But I do love the aerospace world, space included and aviation included. So my goal is just to leave a project behind that really makes a difference, and fingers crossed we'll do that. Oh, it's crazy, absolutely mad. I get asked this a lot, and people always ask like, "Oh, why do you think you won?" And I have no idea. And it's because I'm no better an engineer than anybody else is. I work with some phenomenal engineers, like absolutely amazing, and who probably just as, if not more, deserving of it as I am. I think the only thing that I will do that somebody else will do is that I like to talk about it, as you might be able to tell. I love to share it, and I love to talk about what I do, and I like getting other people excited about what I do. So to have that recognised and to be given a platform to go and talk to more people. So because since I've won the Young Woman Engineer in December last year, I've been able to go to so many events, I've done so many lectures, I've met so many children, I've judged competitions, I've done all these amazing things that I would never have done before. So to be able to do all of that it's just fun for a start, but it's a really rewarding thing to do. So it is an honour, and I do absolutely love it, and I encourage any future engineers that might be in the room to potentially apply for one as well. Yeah, so a lot of people don't actually understand what engineering is or know what it is, myself included when I was younger. So I was 19 when I found out what an engineer was. I genuinely thought that an engineer was someone that came to fix your washing machine, fix your car, put your satellite dish up. That's genuinely what I thought an engineer was. And when I was 19, I was really lucky, and I got a chance to meet Helen Sharman, who some of you may know, but she was the first British person in space back in 1991, so before the Tin Peak era. And I got to meet her and asked her what I needed to do to become an astronaut, and she told me to be an engineer. And up until then, I would never have considered it. I don't come from an engineering background, I don't come from a science background. My mum's a teaching assistant, my dad's a carpenter. No one in my family does science. It's very weird. They actually call me a genetic malfunction. Like, it's all a bit weird to them. And so I got this really lucky opportunity. So what the This Is Engineering campaign is aiming to do is dispel those myths. So make sure that people don't think that engineering is just a man in a hard hat with overalls and oil and spanners. Like, that's not what engineering is. Some engineers are like that, yeah, but a very, very small percentage, like 2 to 3% of engineers are like that. So This Is Engineering is this campaign with loads of videos. You may have seen it if you played Angry Birds, because they like to play as an advert. And it's different engineers from across the UK doing different things. So in my season of the series, there's obviously myself, like futurist, there's someone who works for Lush doing sort of renewable and sustainable chemicals for like bath bombs and things like that. There's a robotics engineer who does engineer like robots for farming and to help create that sort of a sustainable world that way within the UK. And then another one who works for BBC, who does essentially gets your TV to your house. So there's all sorts of different types of people from different worlds who look different, act different, sound different, doing some amazing things just to kind of show that anybody can do this too. Yeah, so at the moment, engineering and aerospace, particularly in my field, is male dominated. There are more men than there are women. That's not to say that it's not been a welcome environment. I've had a great time for the last however many years I've been an engineer. It's just historical, and it's this vision that the public have that engineering is either dirty oil rags or super smart Einstein. In actual fact, it's a spectrum of all those things, like lots of different types of people in between. So to have those role models, both male and female, in the public, to say that there's loads of different types of people, and to try and encourage a more diverse workforce through, is important, because when you've got people from different backgrounds, you've got people who think differently, act differently, it means that you have a bigger space to picture and a bigger space to problem solving. You're not just going down the same old route. And it is important for that sense, but in terms of, like, I'm trying to think of what I want to get out, but in terms of the diversity in getting more people through it, we do need more engineers. There's not enough engineers in the UK at the moment. We actually have a shortfall, I believe, of about 35,000 each year. So it is bad, and we do need a lot more. And so by discounting all those people that don't fit into the stereotype, you're losing so many potential engineers who could be phenomenal. An amazing mark on the world. So we really need to make sure we encourage people, from whether they're male, female, black, white, tall, short, it doesn't really matter, that if they have the interest, they can do it. Yeah, so the main advice I'd give anyone that thinks engineering might be for them is find out what you're interested in. So for me, I love space. Space is, like, as nerdy as it is, I absolutely love it, and I love finding out about it. I love talking about it. I love working on it. Other people, that's not for them. Other people, like, I know some fantastic people that are worried about climate change and global warming, and so they spend a lot of time working on renewable energy, or like electric cars, or all those sort of things. Find out what you're interested in. There's even like fashion engineering, believe it or not. Like, there's all sorts of different types of engineering. So really figure out what it is that you love, and then follow it into engineering. Like, as sad as it sounds, and as a bit cheesy as it sounds, it is true. Like, whatever you're interested in, there will be a way that engineering will get you there. Like, it's not just about the complex big projects that I work on. It's not just about the aircraft. It's not just about the cars. It's not just about the buildings. There's everything is engineered to a minute detail. So even your phones and how we're talking now, all of that is all done through engineering. Find out what you're excited by, find out what you're interested in, and then see where it can take you.